Hello, and this is my quick little review and overview of the Autotuner tool. I should really plan these things a bit better. Review, sort of overview of the Autotuner tool. In it I will also do a bit of a demonstration because I've got one here to remap. Please don't take too much notice of the box. I've had this since, I think it was December 17 or maybe early 2018. I can't remember when I got it. I've had it a while. It goes a long way though to say the quality of the packaging. It gets lobbed around in my workshop, in my van. It's got a few scratches on it, but it is great. The tool has never been affected. Something I also want to just touch upon briefly. The tool is called an Autotuner. There's a lot of moaning in the industry. People buy these expecting them to be able to repair and clone ECUs with them. And there's 2 points on that. One, there is some that you can do. You just need to know what you're doing. And secondly, the company don't sell this as an ECU tool or an ECU repairing tool or a cloning tool or a tool that will read all sectors. It's sold as a tuning tool. They make no bones about it. They're very honest and upfront with it. If you bought it thinking it would do something else, that's entirely your fault. So you can't blame them for that. It is called an Autotuner. It is not called an ECU reading tool. It is not, called a cloning tool. Like I say, it can be used for some of those circumstances. Because what it's primarily for is for reading the map sectors of ECUs. So that hopefully will clear that up. And let me get the box open and show you what's in it. Okay, in the box we have the device itself. Really good quality. You can have these made with your own logos and stuff on them. I don't bother with any of that. You have so that's a stand for your probes, so you can rest them on ECUs and things. I'll show you that in a second. You get a fairly good quality cable, then an OBD cable, some leads which I'll show you what they're for in a moment, a breakout cable for doing boot and bench work, another guy for connecting to your adapters. That doesn't come with it, that's just one of my little clips, and some more cable-y guys in there. Now we'll move on to, obviously power source, not the best in the world, but the problem is if you use other ones they can damage the tool. They throw in this little USB stick. It has got the program on it, but you can download the program from their website. They literally just throw this in for free because it's, will it focus? Hold on, let me put it there. It's just quite nice, and you can store stuff on it, and if you've got files you want to move from one PC to another, I quite like it. Good of them for that. There you go, one of our adapters for doing boot mode, and another one for the Bosch type ECUs. Quite good quality. If you have, which I have, the let me just take you over to it quickly. This one, this it's a Car Pro, yeah, Car Pro stand. They don't fit. It does fit, but you don't have enough room for all the wiring and stuff. It's a pain in the arse. You need to get another stand really. And what else we got in here somewhere? I do have a boot pin, but I may have lost him. Oh no, there he is. It comes with one boot pin. So when you got that blue guy there, I'm trying to do this one-handed again as always, you can just tuck him in there and rest him on your ECU. It's got a fair bit of weight to it, it's quite good quality. Rest him on your ECU and pin it out. That's what's in the kit, and it's all really nice quality. The box is quite good, it's well protected. This gets lobbed, I mean I've had this since 2020 now, so I've had this, I reckon, I can't remember how long, 2 to 3 years. And it gets lobbed about in my van, lobbed about in the workshop. Never had a problem with it, it's a great tool. Right, let's plug it all in and see what it looks like. Okay, so the tool is plugged in to the laptop. Now, a couple of things you need to know about this tool. A bit of a negative, but unfortunately these days with all the clone crap going around, the only way to keep the tool secured is you have to have internet connection, and you have to have a good internet connection, which is a pain for lots of people, including myself, because I'm in quite a rural area. I go out to a lot of jobs, have no signal whatsoever, very poor 4G, stuff like that. It's just something you have to deal with, unfortunately. If people keep cloning equipment and software, then the manufacturers have to protect it. It's ruining this industry. So yes, that's one thing to bear in mind. This will not work offline at all. The tool won't even fire up. So yeah, you got to have a good internet connection. Unfortunately, it's a shame that you can't just read a car, and if you have poor internet connection, maybe go elsewhere and download the virtual read maybe, or decrypt it some way. But it's just what it is, and they've got to do what they've got to do to protect their software. There's that, and other than that, any stories you hear of a ECU being killed, and I've killed a few but I always managed to recover them, no bother, is literally 99% of the time user error or internet connection has dropped out during the read or write. Again, it's not down to the tool, it's down to your internet connection. So that is something you will have to bear in mind if you're getting one of these, or if you've got one of these or whatnot. Right, let me fire up the tool. I'm going to switch over to screen recording mode and go from there. Hello, I've made the mouse pointer nice and big so hopefully you can see it. Right, firstly, let's fire it up. Every time you fire it up, it checks the internet, make sure it's working, otherwise it won't go any further, and then it checks for updates. So I've literally just updated this, so it won't find any. Sorry about the noise in the background. I'm at the workshop, the door is open because it's nice and warm, there's birds, there's cars driving by. Right, so that's just checking. There we go. This is your home page, or your main interface screen. What's so good about this? It's so quick, it's nice and clean. It's not glitchy and buggy like Alien Tech equipment. Yeah, it's just very, very good. So firstly, a couple of things I'll point out to you. If you have a master tool, you can control your slaves in there. You can decrypt and encrypt slave files in there. This one is for checking, going into ECUs, picking what ECU you want, and working on it. This is your most recent history. Manual searching, your home box when you're at any other page, it brings you here, and your menu. So you've got your news, what's going on in the world of Autotuner, what they've recently released, stuff like that. You can update your ECU list, it'll be updated as soon as you plug in. I don't know why that's there. You can export your logs for viewing later, very handy. Also, if you're a slave user, your master might want to see the logs of what you've been doing with the tool. Frequently asked questions, how to use shit, your language. Day mode and night mode, that's something you can there you go, switch it to night mode. Don't know why, it's just a bit of a gimmick. Stuff, some information about what software versions you're running. Now this is the only important thing down here, is your serial number. Hopefully you can see the mouse. It's your serial number there. You might need that for support. You might need that if you're a slave. Lots of reasons you might need that. So that's the only important thing on that page, really. Right, before I go any further, I'll show you, obviously I've got my logo up there, and I'm going to show you how I do that. So we'll open up the Autotuner website. So when you get your Autotuner, or if you've got your Autotuner, you should always sign it up, and then go into your admin panel, and then go into your devices or whatever. So you've got your devices, how many you've got, what you can do with them. I've only got this one. Your profile, information about yourself, I'm not showing you that, your invoices, and your support, and you can change languages. Now in here is where you can go in and change the images you have in the corner, or you can have the standard Autotuner stuff. Nice and easy. Now, just to show you how good this tool is, and I have killed ECUs because of lack of internet, but I've always recovered them, no problem. I'm sure it was December 17 I bought this, but I can't be exact, so that's like 3 years ago. And I use it a lot. And would you like to see how many times I've had to have support from the guys at Autotuner? None. It's such a good and intuitive tool. If you've got some common sense, you very rarely need help. And I'm not going to say never. I'm going to, probably on this job I'm doing now, something will go horribly wrong because I've said that, and I will need support. But up until this moment, I have never needed help from them. Though, it's just, it's the sort of tool you can't really go wrong. If it lists it, it generally does it. So right, back to the tool. So we've got our ECU operations. This is where you go and you can pick your ECU. So you've got loads and loads of brands there. And you have, right, so firstly, if you know what ECU or vehicle you're looking for, you can type it in the search box. I'm not going to bother with that at the minute. Then you've got these filters here. So if you just want to do OBD work, you can narrow it down and list all the OBD jobs. If you want to just do bench work or OBDM bench options, or you narrow your search parameters down. Lovely. In here you can switch from engine to transmission control, and there's your list of transmission jobbies. So say you go into a Mini, say we've got a Countryman, there we go, it'll do 8 HPs. That's all it'll do on the BMWs is 8 HPs, it won't do the 6s. Right, go back to our engines, and if you want to filter it further, say you're looking for, go back, so all the vehicles, and you want to just do some diesels, you turn off your petrols, you turn off your hybrids, and you turn off your electrics. There we go, we're narrowed it down to just our diesels. And one thing I will say about this tool, which they've changed, and I loved the fact, this is a very, fairly new modern tool, and they were only releasing new modern vehicles, which is ideal in this trade. If you're in this industry, you have equipment for doing old shit. Why they need to fill up the tool? Now they're backdating and putting old stuff. I don't see people moan about it. They wanted it, so they've done it. Why wasting valuable time on that when we'd all much prefer, or those who know what we're doing would prefer them working on the new stuff? I don't know, but they've started adding older things. Just get yourself a KES or an MPPS, PCM flash. If you want to work on different things, this tool is keeping current. It was keeping current, and that was great. Unfortunately, now they're adding old stuff, which is not a bad thing, but it means their development time is being taken away from new stuff. It's a bit of common sense, isn't it? Right, so here I have a Land Rover Discovery 4. So rather than use a search box, we'll do it this way. We'll go down. Got our Land Rover. We have our Disco 4. It doesn't really matter, because if you look on here before you even go into it, it tells you the processor number. We've got 1796 and 1796, so it doesn't really matter which one you pick. Go into it, then it gives us our choices. If it had an OBD option, it would have the OBD box here, but it doesn't. So we've got our bench and our boot. I'm going to bench this, but firstly I'll show you boot anyway. You go in, you've got your identifier, you've got your read ECU, write ECU, and instructions here at the bottom. And also, look, a bit of information that tells you where the ECU is located. I like that. It doesn't have it for everything, but it's pretty good. So under the battery cover, you take out the battery, it's just there. It's really handy. I like that. You see people on all of our industry forums and stuff. Where's this ECU? Where's it? Use your tools. Well, look, open your eyes. Some ECUs are hard to find, and I can understand that, but it should be a last resort asking people to waste their time telling you where stuff is, when you should know. Yes, that was the sound of me clicking a lighter. Lots of stuff it has. Battery voltage at the vehicle, your upload and download speed here, and how many milliamps the tool is drawing while it's working. So that's all very useful information. You want to keep an eye on it. Your serial number's always displayed on the tool. I like that too. So we're going to do this one, bench mode. Go into bench mode. Again, same options, and our instructions are very, very nice and clear. Tells you the tools you need out of the box, and it will show you where to pin out. And then it's just a matter of reading and writing. So I'm going to pin it out now and show you how that works, and how quick it is as well. So we've popped our connectors off the ECU, nice and simple. I'm not going to show you how to do that because, well, you can't go wrong. So what you need is that, and then you need your, what do they call it? ATCU 050 or ATUC 050 cable, basically your breakout cable from your Autotuner tool. Handy little cable, it's fairly good quality. Only thing you must be aware of if you're doing the later MDG, MEG, whatever ECUs like in the later BMWs, VW, Audis, they're not small enough terminals. So you have to make yourself something up or buy something. Right, so I'm going to pin this out. I need my hands for that, but I'll show you the instructions and show you it once it's pinned. Okay, so we're pinned out as per the instructions, and I'll show you the instructions in a second, stuff you have to bear in mind. And also what you want to do is, nice neat little way, is just use an elastic band, get the other wires out of the way, because they are sending signals. There is lives on Earth, so you don't want them dangling around and touching things that they shouldn't be touching. Next up, you want to plug that into your interface. But as well as that, you need to power your interface. So you plug her in, get her powered up, use only the genuine supply, which isn't great at supplying higher currents, but here we go. And that's that. Right, I'm going to show you something quickly about pinning out your ECU. If you notice here, the picture shows the orientation of the ECU, but if you're doing it fitted in the car, bear in mind the orientation. This is fitted, it's hard for you to see from video, but it's fitted the other way up. So I'm going to go into the screen mode now and show you what we do about that. Right, so there you go, you got your instructions. It shows the orientation this way up, as if the bottom of the ECU is facing upwards, what I would call the bottom, and the top is facing downwards, basically. When you're looking at this car, it is the other way around. It's quite easy to navigate, but if you do struggle, all you got to do is, all Windows 10 systems have this, is open your snipping tool. We'll make a new snip, and we're going to copy it. There we go. And then what we can do is edit it. Open with that, with Paint or whatever you like. Blah, blah, blah. It's a pain in the bum. And we're going to rotate it. Is it in Paint to rotate these? I don't really know. I'm not a user of Paint often. Well, anyway, look, just copy it into something and rotate the image. It's fucking easy. I don't never do it because I just look at it and go, oh yeah, it's that. Anyway, yeah, snipping tool can be handy for a lot of stuff. Right, shrink that down. Do I want to save it? No. Right, so we're pinned out. We've got our instructions. Once you're pinned out, check it again, and check it again, because as you can see, we've got a live. We've got can lows and can highs, and we got what they call the password reading. If you've put them in a wrong place, for example, say you put a live there, and whatever's there, you can look it up somewhere, is an earth, or something equally important, you will destroy that ECU. So, nice simple picture, follow it, and double check your work and triple check your work. Right, so we've done that. Obviously, there's no ignition on and off because the vehicle's disconnected, the battery's out of it. Close down our instructions. I'll identify it. So it's going in, it's initializing the ECU, it knows that it's that. It's waking it up, it doesn't take long. Doo-be-doo-doo-doo. This is where we find I've pinned it out wrong and I blow it up. Like I said, down here you've got our voltage, we've got our amperage. As you can see, it's not supplying a great amount. So we go, we've got our ID. I always save them, it's up to you what you do, but I'm going to save that into a notepad. Boom. Shrink that down. Right, let's read it out and see how quick this is. We'll do a proper read, so it's not a virtual read, and we're not just reading the password. You can do a virtual read, it pulls it from the server. We're going to do an actual read of what's in the ECU. We're going to save it as so much information there. Yeah, I will do it to that, and I'm going to do it to my desktop for the moment. Save that, and let's see how long this takes to read this ECU. Believe me, it is very quick for what it is. If you watch down there, you've got your voltage and the milliamps. These ECUs don't like low voltage, so we may have to change what we're using, but we'll see. Oh no, it's working away. Look at that, we're 30% already. 40% already. I like it, it's very good. I should add music to my videos, but I don't know what the rules are on copyright and all that sort of stuff, so maybe I could just sing to you. Hakuna Matata! There we go. So it's all done, and in less than 1 minute that ECU was read out. Perfect. It's also saved a full backup of this ECU, which you can open with and play with files and do as you like with. But we don't need to. That's it. Done. Great tool, see? Right. Now, what we're going to do is, I don't have any Damos or map packs, nor would I want to for this sort of vehicle. I don't want to write the file for this. I would buy, because of the type of vehicle, you'd be in and out constantly with ECU and pinning out and stuff. You can't do it OBD unless CMD do some little things that you can fit to the ECU, but we're not doing that. So I'm going to buy a known good file from a known good supplier. These have been around years, these vehicles, so I'm going to crack on with that bit. Okay, so we've got our tune file. Now we want to write it back in. Let's see if that's as quick. So we need to choose write ECU, backup file or tune file. On our desktop we have, make that go away, back off. On our desktop we have our tune file, go in there. Are we sure we want to write it? Yes. And it's flashing the ECU. While the ECU is writing in, everything lights up, same as when it's reading. You get little flashes on the tool itself, and it carries on writing it in very, very quickly. Done. Nice and easy. Right, so there we go. So that was just an example of how the tool works. It's really good, really user-friendly. Rarely goes wrong. I would give it, I'd give it a 7 or 8 out of 10, I reckon, this tool, which is high praise indeed, I'd like to have a go on something else that I haven't had a go on yet. I've used the X17 from Alien Tech. I've got CMD. I've got from Magic. I've got CMD. I've got Alien Tech equipment, KES and K-Tag. I've got MPPS. I've got PCM Flash. I shall try and do some little reports and guides on them at some point. But I would like to have a go on the B Flash and see what that's like. But yeah, this is a really good tool. Even if you're a slave user, I think it's got exact same functionality, apart from obviously you can't write your own files, or buy from what you like. Yeah, right, let's close this down, get on with the job I'm actually working on this Land Rover. I shall do a bench video and a OPD video to show you, but it's just, it's got instructions, you just follow them. Nothing really can go wrong. Thanks for watching. Bye.